Alright, in this video I wanted to talk about the Nightmare Queen armor package. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. More or less been waiting for um, the info subs on the Warwolf armor to show it off, and I will, but even if they never do an info subs, but I wanted to kind of understand what it's doing for sure. But once that's out, I'll probably be doing one uh, on that and some of the stuff. Talk about what I like and don't like about it. And then also, we just had the 22nd anniversary release with some bleed stuff, so I'll probably do one of those. My job's been kind of hit and miss, so it prevents me from doing some videos, but able to do one now. But basically, um, the Nightmare Queen armor does basically Ellie Vulns based on the weapon held and fear items. Let's see here. It also does initiative. It was released bugged where you would have multiple of the initiative bonus. You see two there. Uh, I don't know how I got that second one. So there is another bug that still exists, but I haven't tried to figure out what I did exactly. Um, but basically, in this first toggle here, um, you can toggle through, and so basically, what this does is 496 SP, your weapon strikes and your spells will inflict fear. Um, so that's really good with other fear spells. There's not a lot of options. There's the Reindeer Stampede from a few Frost spells ago, and then there's also um, actually there's this guy here, the Queen Mother Scepter, has a built-in spell, and so just to get an idea, so we're at 100% light here. So we have, looks like only one of the fears landed there. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I didn't have that toggled on, forgot. Let's see what we get here. So it should greatly increase all the way up to 88%. Now, this art here, this fire substance or whatever you want to call it, is actually coming from the middle toggle. I'll turn it off. But basically, it says it attempts poison stronger if foe does not attack. So each turn it'll attempt poison, but you can toggle it again and it's basically up to 314. And so you can just continue attacking and you'll see the fear change. So versus normal monsters, you can basically get the fear up high enough. And as you can see, the poison is also the element of the weapon. So we have a 10 power poison already there. So that's pretty good. And then I believe there's some bugs going on with that poison. It's like the valuations are lower than what it normally should take to trigger it. So let's go ahead and do this again. So one time at 100% resistance is 66% for 4 turns. It's not too bad. So basically it didn't go, and we had a 6.12 for 2 rounds. So double that, that's 12.24, 122% melee. The shield didn't trigger yet, so let's see what happens when we do this again. So fear's up to 92%. So this makes quick work of trash mobs. So now we're at 9.18 for 2 rounds, so that is enough to trigger Void Forge. So basically, 2 rounds, and you'll have some Void Forge with the max poison. All right, so another thing that I've been having fun with, actually, is Um, the other toggle, which is the elevon, which is the element held. So what I've been doing is finding other stuff that does elevons. So like Frost Mage's staff, for example, it does its own elevon of 121. It looks like it didn't trigger for the armor this time. Let's see here. Make sure I had that toggled on. Yeah, it was toggled, it just didn't work. I didn't catch the caption there. So now we went from 136 to 171, so it's pretty good. It's a pretty good stack. And you can just keep building it. And I like the fact that it works on just hitting the smash button. I do wish there was a male looking version of this armor, but you have the Mage's staffs, Tribal Shaman staff, Wish Weaver, Tritent are some elevons. There's also the Karnak's weapon. It has an elevon skill that costs SP. So all those elevons on those weapons um, work pretty well. I like to grab the Wishweaver weapon and then grab mosquitoes. And then let's see. And these should stack pretty well. So 4 rounds at 150. As you can see, was 1,000 mana. So I basically just got that back. So this is a very powerful combo with mosquitoes. I could also cast Arcane Express from the Broom Strider package that would give up to 120% permanent Elevon. And this would stack on top of this. Another cool thing here with the Wishweaver, obviously, since you're doing so many different Elevons, you can give yourself some pretty significant barriers. And then another idea that I did was I had, let's see here, let's see if I have the weapon on here. I don't. Celestial Void Forge, which is harm. So you're doing harm Elevon, and then but you would cast Runic's Binding and then use Power Gauntlet, and you could still, like if you were gonna use one of the Leech pets, there's the hit point and the MP heal ones. I was getting north of 1,000 healing with those. I'm using that idea. I was basically paying for my MP cost, even with the fact that Runic's Binding was overcharged cost. So there's just some neat little ideas here. So I'm going to go with a energy weapon and use Epic Slice, but Epic Slice will actually bug out. Didn't take. Will actually bug out the Omni Elevon, and then it'll inflict a separate energy Elevon. It won't this time. So basically, we got 190% energy Elevon with that spell, and there's a bunch of spells out there that you can do. Let me try to do that Power Gauntlet one again and see what happens here. So okay, that time it didn't take on the Omni Elevon, but it would have. I think it's gonna end up like 140 something. So this time it'll actually end up stacking with the energy. So as you can see, Epic Slice starts to add up pretty quickly. Another thing that's really neat about this armor, and I actually want to try it with some other ideas, some other builds. Um, get out of this battle here. Is weapons that do poison siphons. You're basically enhancing the heals every turn. So I'm gonna have infernals here. I'll go ahead and do a power gauntlet, see if that takes. So it's going to be 392 a turn, so the hope is that you're able to heal that. Let me use energy jelly. Trouble. Alright. So cost quite a bit of SP, but we have that poison siphon, so I got from 2186 up to 24 something. Was around 300-ish heal on the first turn. There's a few items. There's those katanas that are the ultra golden gift boxes. There's a darkness and light one that you click, and they cost SP to inflict poison siphons. You're going to be inflicting Elevulns with those, and then uh, increase your heals. There's also one other idea I wanted to share after this. Let me just go ahead and fight this one to see what kind of heals I can do. So what's my Earth is 87. I'll do the first couple. That's when attacks. So basically we have Fire Elevuln. Goes 4 turn 125. That time it didn't take. Let's see. Didn't take again. I'm just not landing hits because of the blocking, which is fine. I might die here. I just wanted to try to showcase what this was doing. I was hoping I'd land some hits, but with this misc, to see if it would give me an advantage. So we're up to 143 Elevuln with the 6.4. And I'm also getting this passive 17% chance to inflict fear. It'll also do a random 117% Elevuln. So as you can see, you're just building your Elevuln up to 171%. So it's going to result in some pretty good heals. I had a 959. I don't know if you caught that. So you could also use this armor like on celerities. So you could attack or do a spell, inflict the Elevuln, and then use that as a booster for like the second attack. And what's cool about it is it follows the weapon element, so it's always going to be available, whatever Elevuln you need, which I think is really neat. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show one other thing. It's an okay idea. I want to show something that works with Prismatic Burn. So Prismatic Burn, just so you're aware, for those that don't know, it actually does a hit to each element. And so the number that it shows is the damage that's added up from each hit to the elements. There's not a whole lot of ways to boost that. You either stack more Prismatic Burn, have an Omni Elevuln, or you could, like, for example, use Elevulns. Well, what's kind of neat about this specific weapon here, the Maker Touched Zweihander, is it'll actually change elements every turn. And so When it changes elements, it'll inflict an elevon of the element that it changes to. So this time will be energy. But it also inflicts prismatic burn, as you can see. So this time is wind, then this next time is fire. So we've got 3 elevons here, and then we've got a 1.5 power prismatic burn. So what I'm doing is I'm enhancing the different elements. There's another wind, there's a light. So we're basically up to 3 of the elements having boosted prismatic burn while maintaining a 1.5 prismatic burn. That last one was earth. So we've got a wind, fire, light, earth. So now we're up to 500 damage. So this is a kind of a long-winded way to boost prismatic burns. Not my favorite thing in the world. That one's light again. This one's earth again. A lot of people tend to think that spellcasterling armors are really meant for pure mages. I think there are some examples that spellcasterling armors could be used with lucky beast mages. Tribal Shaman being one of them. Archmage Apprentice with its mana barrier is kind of could play like in a Beastmaster play style. But whenever you're using ideas like pets and guests that heal different resources, then this armor could come in handy. So I've already showed what it does with mosquito. If you have energy and or ice jelly, you can see what it does there. Elevon also boosts pet and guest damage. It boosts everything. So it's a damage booster for your pets and guests. So this armor specifically could be used in any beast build. These effects are based on weapon held. It may be a spellcaster lean, but if you are a warrior or a ranger, it will still work. It'll still inflict at the same rate, so you don't have to worry about dealing with stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and use these Void Skulls and then get some Elevon. And then I'm going to go ahead and get Tropo. I also tested this with the Nightbane guest summons from the Nightbane's Claw Staff. I was getting upwards of like 380 and 400 hit point heals with it. I think Vampoglin pet could potentially, with some darkness Elevon stacking, get pretty high to heal your SP. So I'm down to 204, and then this one right here was up to 717. So I'm at 749 at the beginning of this round. Let's see what happens. All the way down to 261. So I increased up to 889. So I'm basically building SP every time. I could use Independence Dagger, Ancient Mother Staff, Incarnation also, and just attack on using that idea. I'm just going to be inflicting Elevons there. Again, Poison Siphons. You can do the Lost Talon wands, and then other. There's a few other Poison Siphons on a weapon. So as you can see, I was able to fully heal my SP, even though I'm spending a bunch with my shield, my weapon, and the effect from the armor. I was still able to out heal that cost versus 100%. The big drawback with the Void Skulls is that if fire element drops, then that's going to suffer, but you can use Prime Chaos Orb for those that have it. So, very versatile armor. I really think that even a warrior or a ranger could use it and just attack. Um, there's a few Elevon weapons they have. Yeah, it's only going to be neutral offense, but what's cool is the Elevons build and build and build to the point where it's almost like Ele Comp in just a few turns. And so you also then get um, the boost for spells. So what you could do, for example, I'll hop over to my warrior, which I don't have a copy. They don't have the damn shop yet. But like if you're doing like something like relentless erosion, for example, and you want to cast a spell, so that's the damage here. You would get basically spellcaster lean to boost it with the Elevon. You could hold a in this case you could hold a uh, water weapon and get the Elevon. I believe there are those package spells that have the seeking spells. They have a SP version that's efficient. If you want to just do efficient spells with the spellcaster lean, you could do it. Here I'm going to go ahead and just see what this choke spell does. I recommend this choke spell for any warrior. It's cheap, and if all hits land, it'll actually reduce the monster's uh, offense by up to 75%. I don't know that I've even tested with a celerity to see how it would work. It just adds a second turn. That's not bad. So again, just imagine this was Nightmare Queen, and I could just basically cast Elevons with spells or just bonks or whatever. And so you don't have to do all these other shenanigans to build Elevons. It's just built right in. Um, and so you could do, I think, like for example, this weapon here will Ele Seek. I think Riadne's does. I'm trying to remember. Riadne's does. Poison siphons, I think. Yeah. So this one is the Ele Seeking between harm and darkness. Even though it's bugged to do harm if darkness is equal. So in the case of a warrior using that armor, it would just boost the siphon part, and then you would end up with better heals. So again, very versatile armor. I find it to be extremely fun. Some people may like the fear aspect. I personally like playing with the Elevons and seeing what I can do with it. But that's it for this video. That's the Nightmare Queen armor. I think it's like the $20 package. Very, very much worth it.